everyone, happy Friday. Thanks for watching Up to Speed. Let's jump in with a quick recap of the week. Monday, Sam and Craig joined us live to discuss the latest Work Forward updates, and on Tuesday, Andy showed us how to best prepare for hybrid activation on April 4th. From remembering your badge to booking a space, coming back can be as simple as 1, 2, 3. And Thursday, we shared Verizon's call filter features to help stop pesky robocalls and a quick and easy way to report spam texts with 7726. Now, on Tuesday, our leaders Magda Arizari and Nikki Palmer joined the McKenzie Delis Review U.S. launch event. The McKenzie Delis Review is the first of its kind, offering a comprehensive and nationwide analysis across 10 components of workplace diversity. Let's take a look at what they discussed.
Diversity is so crucial today because we can't let the fourth industrial revolution occur without having the whole population take part in its development. And it's really that simple. It's no secret that tech has had a long-standing diversity and inclusion problem, if I could say that. The homogeneity of the industry is not just a superficial issue either. It's arguable that it's a root cause of many larger issues that plague tech. And it has implications not just for justice and fairness, but it also results in devastating flaws in the industry's own products. So consider just a few of these, for example, like unjust facial recognition technologies that exacerbate discrimination against people of color. Or how about virtual reality headsets designed by and for men, primarily, that can cause women to feel, nauseous when they put them on, right? And how about those, there's been many published examples of artificial intelligence algorithms that have inherent bias in them. And we're just getting started on all of these technologies. So those are just a few examples of products in an industry with insufficient diversity of perspectives that go into product design.
The perception that this is a zero-sum game has to be addressed. That in order for some people to gain access, that means other people are going to lose access. And it's really not about that. It's really about opportunity for all. And in that, we have to be comfortable not to treat everybody exactly the same way. Because whether it was the example about people with disabilities or the example of the socioeconomically disadvantaged college students, everyone doesn't start at the same place. Everyone doesn't need the same resources, right? So this comfort that says, I'm going to meet people where they are, and that everyone's needs are not exactly the same, is going to make the organization feel like an us and a them, lowering of the standards. So we've got to put that on the table and really talk about equity in a way that really reflects all of us.
And Tami Erwin spoke on a panel with Scott Mills, President and CEO of BET, and John Stanley, CEO of Walgreens Boots Alliance, in partnership with the Paley Center. They discussed today's most pressing societal challenges around the event's theme, broadening the conversation around DEI in the workplace to harness the power of diversity and inclusion. Here's a clip of the event.
When we have facts and clarity, then we can be clear on actions that yield measurable results. And for me, that's what it's about. It's about having clarity of where are we today? How do we recognize that we all have multiple components that make up who we are? So it's not just that I'm a woman, but I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm a, what are all the components that bring me to the work environment, that bring me to society, and how do I represent and acknowledge mine and then embrace others? Yeah. And for me, it starts with the facts. Know the facts. When you know the facts, you can't ignore them.
And like our leaders mentioned, we're doing our part to move the world forward, and we're committed to help bridge the digital divide by making high-quality connectivity more affordable for customers in need. That's why we're participating in the FCC's Affordable Connectivity Program, which helps low-income households pay for internet and mobile service. For the first time, Verizon is offering free internet with its Fios Forward program to qualifying ACP customers. Qualifying customers will get the fastest speeds in the marketplace with Fios Forward, along with a free Verizon router and no hidden fees or setup charges. And onto some Verizon business news. The U.S. Department of Defense has awarded Verizon Public Sector 3 Enterprise Infrastructure Solutions Awards worth $966.5 million. Verizon will provide network modernization services and technical support services to the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, National Capital Region, and Fort Belvoir. Verizon Business also announced that BlueJeans Telehealth, a HIPAA-ready and intuitive virtual care platform, is now available through Kajit, which is a leading provider of IoT connectivity, software, and hardware solutions to address increasing customer demand for connected health solutions to improve the patient-provider relationship. Now, we've seen several extreme weather events this year already, and we want you to know that Verizon is prepared no matter the crisis. Our extreme network is built to withstand prolonged power outages with nearly 80% of macro cell sites and switch facilities equipped with generator backup and 100% equipped with battery backup. But that's not all. We've invested in maintaining the landscapes around our facilities in wildfire-prone areas, a sub-zero switch in areas vulnerable to ice and floods, and super switches that can withstand hurricanes and other measures in case of tornadoes, earthquakes, and more. For all of the ways our network goes extreme to keep you connected in a crisis, click the link in today's story. And with the ongoing situation in Eastern Europe, Verizon is expanding its relief offer through March 24th to keep customers connected to friends and loved ones in the affected areas. As a reminder, Verizon is waiving international calling, texting, and in-country data charges for consumer and business wireless customers to and from Hungary, Moldova, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, and Ukraine. Residential landline customers will see waived international charges to those countries as well. And customers, you do not have to take any action to take advantage of these offers. If you're wondering how you can help, you can continue to text to donate to the International Rescue Committee, Salvation Army, and UNICEF. Your donation can be matched with our existing matching program, so check out our story to learn more. And we know that many of you have been affected indirectly or directly, and today we want to share the story of our very own Ukrainian-born V-teamer, Sasha Shekhter, who shares how the crisis has affected him and his thoughts on how our help can go a long way.
My name is Sasha. I'm an attorney in the Verizon's litigation group. I live in Washington, D.C., but I'm originally from Kiev, Ukraine. And when I was growing up, my parents were involved in political dissident movement. When things came to a head, they ultimately chose to leave the Soviet Union, and we became international refugees and eventually made our way to the United States. Hearing stories of other generations resisting, but maintained their identity, maintained their traditions, maintained their culture. Ukrainians of all stripes love personal freedom and holding their chins way high up. I'm in constant contact with my friends and relatives in Kiev, and for as long as they continue to respond, I know that they're still there. They still need the help, but they refuse to leave, and we try to help them as much as we can. And in the beginning, at least, I felt hopeless. I felt proud of their courage. I felt somewhat ashamed of my inability to help them in the moment. But I also felt that this was a time to do something. In life, we don't get many chances to do the right thing, a moment that will define us for a long time. Sitting idly on the side and enjoying the comforts of life here would have been an obvious, easy choice. But that's not a choice that I could live with. My wife and I and our friends and many of our colleagues who reached out organized and started sending humanitarian aid directly to Ukraine, sending money, sending feminine hygiene products, sending baby formula, and then organizing around that to do more. Finally, it culminated in our collecting many supplies from our friends and neighbors here in Washington, D.C., which I'll be taking to the border in a couple of days. There is no wrong way to help. Any legitimate international organization will make sure that those funds will go to those areas that need them most. Verizon as an organization almost immediately waived all call-in charges. Additionally, Verizon Foundation will match certain donations dollar for dollar to causes that will help those who are most vulnerable. I had no doubt that in a moment of crisis, Verizon would show up.
Thank you, Sasha, for sharing your story. And V-Teamers, there are plenty of volunteer opportunities on the Citizen Verizon Volunteers portal that supports those directly impacted by the crisis. So check out today's story to sign up. Well, that's all I have today, folks. Enjoy your weekends, and until next time, you're up to speed.